All right, Chauncey, so this is for you. With you going back to remote, we don't really have the opportunity to talk because this would be really easy to explain, I think, in person. But we'll see if this works, and if other people need it, I'm just going to forward them a video, and your name's going to be in it. So um, what I'm asking you to do is basically make a decision on whether or not the triangles, I'm going to give you a pair of triangles, and you're going to tell me if they're congruent or not. So it's basically a yes or no question. But if you say yes, I want a reason. And there are only four reasons, period, ever in this whole thing. If you're going to say yes, your reason, the why of it is this, 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 or this. And that's it. There's nothing else. So your reasons are going to be based on the information that's in the picture. Okay, so the if you know the three sides of one triangle are marked and equal to three sides in another triangle, your y, they're congruent, is side, side, side. And then another one, side, angle, side. And then there's angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. Now, these aren't just three letters thrown out. They're the way, specifically side, angle, side, angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. The way those letters are arranged is important. So for side, angle, side, what you're going to be looking at is you're going to have, your triangles may not be oriented the same way. So like they're not going to be sitting up. You might have one flipped over, rotated, or whatever. But the idea is I've got two sides in each triangle marked. So something like this side's equal to this side's equal to this side. Okay, so I've got two sides. They're marked differently, but like the one mark is equal to the one mark. The two marks is equal to the two marks. Now, what is important is the position of that angle. That angle that's marked in each picture needs to be the one that is physically between the two sides that are marked. So I've marked this side and this side. The angle that's going to be marked is the one in between those two sides. And then the same in the other picture. Okay, now I say that everything has to correspond. So if just by chance the angle that was marked wasn't the one that was between those two sides in the second triangle, if it was, say, that one down at the bottom, although it's got two sides and an angle, it doesn't all match up. So those actually wouldn't be congruent. So what I'm looking for, let me clean up my pictures a little bit. I've got two sides, two sides. I've got the angle physically between those two sides and the same angle in the other triangle. Those two triangles would be congruent by side, angle, side. Again, two sides, angle in between them. Clean this up a little bit and try again. So moving on, we'll go angle, side, angle. It's the same idea. I'm going to have two angles marked in each picture. So an angle here, an angle here, an angle here, an angle here. And then the side that's marked, again, is physically the side between those two angles. So I'm looking for this side here, congruent to this side here. Those two triangles would be congruent by angle, side, angle. Two angles, side in between them. But again, like let's say, I've got two angles and a side here, two angles, and let's say it was this side that was marked instead. Since the sides don't correspond, since they don't match up, those wouldn't be congruent, or we don't have the right information, or more information is needed, or something along those lines. But the way it sits, that picture, that pair of triangles right there, they're not congruent. It's not going to work. Now, me personally, I think that so far, those are pretty straightforward. I think the trickiest one of the four is angle, angle, side. It starts out looking a lot the same. I've got angle, angle, another angle, another angle. Now, the side part, if you notice in the letters AAS, the side is not sandwiched between the angles like everything else was. So of the four, I think this is the one where you really, really need to learn how to read the pictures a little bit. So I've got angle, angle, side. So I need a side not between those two angles. So like this guy here, angle, angle, just side off to the off side. However, the side in the second triangle still has to correspond. So I can't have, say, angle, angle, side here. I can't have this be the side that was marked. in the second triangle because that doesn't correspond to the marking in the first one. They're off. Different angles. So here the side that I have marked is off of this angle that has 2 marks on it. Here the side that I have marked is off the angle that only has 1 mark on it. They don't correspond, so the pieces don't match up. So for this to work out, I would need, say, this side congruent to this side. And then I could say they're congruent by angle side. So what I have after this is just some pictures that looks just like what's on the homework and stuff that we've been doing. And it's basically just here it is. What do you think? Okay. The big things, whoops, I almost forgot something. The big things that you need to look out for on this is you need to look out for vertical angles. A lot of times when these pictures touch, if the triangles actually touch, they will share an angle measurement that won't be marked. That's the big thing. It won't be marked. So if I had a situation like this where I had kind of an inverted triangle thing, I know that these angles at the top and the bottom, kind of an hourglass looking shape, those angles are going to be the same measurement, but they won't be marked. Feel free to add your own marks in your head. Don't draw on your Chromebook screen, but kind of in your head, oh, those are equal, so I know I'm looking at one of the angle congruences. Another one that happens is if you have something, it's a hasty sketch, but something like this where they share a side. If you have a shared side, sound like Sean Connery. Sorry, buddy, I've had a lot of caffeine today. Shared side, right? The triangles will overlap on a side, and that won't be marked either, but that side is the same in each triangle. So this picture right here, again, those vertical angles, I know that those guys are the same, won't be marked, so those will be congruent by angle, side, angle, right? 2 angles, side physically between them. This pair right here, I've got those vertical angles again. It looks like angle, side, but just slow down. Anytime your gut says angle, side, just stop and look at it real close to make sure that your sides correspond, that they're coming off the same angle, which in that case they are. They're both coming off the right angles. So those would be congruent by angle, side. Okay. Same thing on this one. I've got those vertical angles, angle, side. That's almost the last picture. It's just not a right angle. Okay. A shared side here, right? That side EO is the same in each triangle. So just make sure, what I kind of do, and it's kind of hard to illustrate on the screen. I'll just take a Post-it or something, and I'll cover up one of the triangles, which I know you can't see on my screen, but I'll cover up one of the triangles and see what's marked, and then cover up the other one and see what's marked, and then kind of try and look at them separately. Vertical angles again, those are congruent by side, angle, side. 2 sides, angle in between the sides. I think these are the easiest ones to spot. All 3 sides, all 3 sides. There's no wiggle room when there's no angle concern. So angle, side, angle. I've got right angle, side, and another angle. It just kind of, and the rest of it's part of something else that we're going to be doing next week. But it just comes down to learning how to read the pictures and practice. Okay. I can come up with a ton of these for you. They're not going to look any different than the ones that we've already had assigned. So feel free to go back and look at those again. Just play around with it. See, let me know. Send me an email or comment on the assignments like you did, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.